What's up? We're back with another year-end list for 2023 in the world of Canadian mixed martial arts, and we're looking at the Rookie of the Year. Always a very exciting category, as we are looking at the fighters that made their pro debut in 2023 and that impressed us the most. There were hella fighters, close to 50 fighters that made their pro debuts this year, so it was really tough to separate who were the best amongst them. Of course, there are some guys that I did not have the chance to see fight because there are some prelim fights that are not shown and some promotions that are simply not live streamed for us to see. So there are some rookies that maybe should have been on this year's list but are not because I did not get to see them fight. So sorry for that. If that's your case, we'll start the list right now with some honorable mentions. Zach Baldwin, Drake Farrell, Francesco Lepore, Mirza Hopovac, and Matt Embree. And basically all of these guys are honorable mentions because they only had one fight, and every fighter that made the top 10 Rookie of the Year list at least has 2 fights this year. So maybe if these guys would have got one more fight in, they could have made the top 10, but I gotta give these spots to the fighters that were the most active this year. At number 10, we've got Sierra Dinwoodie, who went 2-0 this year. I won't lie, her pro debut was an absolute mess. That wasn't her fault. She landed a strike in the clinch on Andrea Watson. The referee kind of stopped the fight. It wasn't a good stoppage at all. Watson kind of got robbed of a chance to fight back in that fight, but Dinwoodie got robbed of the chance of having a clear definitive finish in her first pro fight. It was still a win. You're gonna take that. She was then rebooked against Max Turcotte Novosedlik, who was the girl against who she was supposed to make her pro debut earlier in the year in January. They finally fought in April at Prospects Fighting Championship, and she was able to get a submission victory. Very impressive for the striker to get a grappling oriented victory in her second pro fight. So went 2-0 this year. We need more women's prospect, and she's one of them. That's why she's on the list at number 10. At number 9, we've got Tonyroas, who also went 2-0 and who also is in a division where we need people. That's flyweight, and he started his pro career against Nico Cambasis. Good back and forth fight. I don't even know if he was winning that fight, but he landed a big knee on Cambasis and then kicked him in his head to get the finish in that fight and get a clear definitive win. Then went on to get another TKO win at the end of the year against Kenny Lee to make it to 2-0. And like I said, we need flyweights as much as we need women talent, and Tonyroas is a very exciting athletic prospect to enter this division this year. So that's why he's at number 9 on the list of Rookies of the Year. At number 8, we got his teammate Jake Craig. And holy shit, if Jake Craig is to be active, he's probably gonna become one of our favorite fighters because the guy is dishing out some douleur, like would say Strania Gavrilovic. He absolutely messed Josh Hines up with an amazing body kick at Unified 50 in his pro debut, and ended the year with probably the most brutal punch knockout of the year in Canadian MMA, as he absolutely stiffened up Terrence Jeffers. He basically made him fly off the ground when he landed that left hand on him. So Jake Craig has got monster power and it is a very, very interesting prospect to follow for the rest of the way. He's 2-0 in his rookie year, and he's at number 8 on the list. At number 7, Cam Nelson was so close to being like top 2 or 3 on that list. Made his pro debut at the very first event of the year in January, where he defeated Braden Simon by first round rear naked choke. Then went on to defeat Irving Molina by rear naked choke 2 in the third round. That time, very dominating performance from him, and he came into his fight with Christian Tremaine with a lot of momentum. Unfortunately for him, was defeated in that fight. Got his momentum altered, but still the guy is 2-1 this year. One of the most active rookies that we've got on the scene, and he was good. He's great. He's got some potential. He's already suffered a prospect loss, but I'm not really worried about that for his future. Cam Nelson is a good fighter and he's gonna do great as an MMA fighter. That's why I have him at number 7 on the list. At number 6, we've got another guy from Eastern Canada. You love to see this. It's the mummy Abdel Abdelaziz, who was super impressive this year. He made his pro debut against Isaiah Meditok, who already had 4 pro fights on his record, and he beat him by rear naked choke before fighting Ruben Aldana, who had already 5 pro fights on his record, and also finishing him in the first round by arm triangle. The guy is a monster grappler. He's a very good fighter, one of the brightest prospects from Tower 1 Combat Sports, which is one gym that is quickly emerging as the top gym in Eastern Canada. Abdelaziz is very good. Can't wait to see what's next for him. That's why I got him as number 6 on the list. At number 5, Clayton Pye. The guy is one of the best wrestlers in the country. He trains at Niagara Top Team. I won't lie to you, he's still kind of green in MMA, but he won his 2 fights this year quite convincingly. If he keeps training with the best fighters like he already is, he's gonna become an absolute menace in the coming years. So Clayton Pye had to be on that list. I got him at number 5. At number 4, Alain Majorique. He had an absolute star-making performance in his pro debut in front of his home crowd. I've never seen a reaction so loud for a pro debut in my life. He absolutely beat the living hell out of Nizar Bahaji, got his first pro win, and then jumped back into the cage to fight Mauricio Cruz. But Alain is really the first guy to take Mauricio and make him look like a 1-4 or 1-5 fighter. He absolutely dominated him, submitted him with an arm triangle choke early in the fight. And Alain is on the older side. That's probably the only thing that we can have against him, but he's absolutely one of the best rookies we've seen this year. That's why I got him at number 4. At number 3, it's gonna be tough to deny that, Scott Rodrigues. The guy has 2 fights, one of the best submissions in the year when he choked out Bashir Labizi with one hand, a rear naked choke with one hand in MMA. He did that, and then gave us our knockout of the year, the head kick of Edwin Martinez in his 2nd fight. And Edwin Martinez is a guy who gave Tommy Morrison everything he had, and it was a very close fight. Then was winning against Matt Dawson, then got caught in an armbar in that fight. But Edwin Martinez, when he came to Canada, basically won more than 50% of the action he was in, until he fought Scott Rodrigues, who just kicked him in the head flush in the very first round to finish him like it was easy to do so. So Scott Rodrigues is one of the very bright prospects that we've seen debut this year, and that's why I gotta put him that high on the list. At number 3. At number 2, allow me to do a joint entry, because it's the power couple of Isabelle Lacroix and Anton Potocki. Both made their pro debuts this year. Both went 2-0. Isabelle fought some very experienced girls that did not have some winning records, I gotta say, but some girls that had plenty pro fights, and Isabelle was 0-0 and 1-0 at the moment of these fights, and she dominated these fights, showed amazing striking, and was able to really be the brightest women prospect this year. Like, the only thing that can play against her is her weight. She's very small. She's an atom weight, which is a division where it's tough to get some fights generally, so that might be the only thing that holds her back a little bit. But outside of that, Isabelle Lacroix is by far the brightest woman prospect we've seen in a while in Canada, and her husband Anton Potocki is a flyweight. He already has some great wins under his belt. The guy is 2-0, gave us one of our submissions of the year in his last fight against Jonathan Garcia, and before that had defeated Nigel Crosswell in an absolute beating in the first round. So another prospect at flyweight. Like I said earlier, we need those, and Anton Potocki, Scott Rodrigues, Tony Rojas, there are 3 of them, so the flyweight division is under good hands this year. And at number 2, I've got Isabelle Lacroix and Anton Potocki. But at number 1, our rookie of the year was an amateur prospect that I had my eye on in Quebec for a little while, and I knew that he was going to turn pro this year, and I was really looking forward to it. We believed that he was going to make his pro debut for Samurai, but he took a fight in Mississippi against a local guy, and he got absolutely robbed. So he lost his pro debut, and then came back to Samurai with 2 of the most amazing performances we've seen by a rookie. And of course, I am talking about the one and the only Antoine Chaput. This guy is legit. This guy is for real. He should be 3-0, so he should be the most active and the most winning prospect rookie this year. He got absolutely robbed, like I said. Like there's the Powell scale that we established after the horrible Zachary Powell Dario Sinagoga decision, and like on the Powell scale, that Antoine Chaput robbery at the beginning of the year was maybe worse than the Zachary Powell Dario Sinagoga decision itself. So maybe we should rename the scale after Antoine Chaput. So he got robbed of starting his career 3-0, but that won't make a difference here because he's absolutely the rookie of the year. He's a lightweight. He comes into the best division in MMA, already super ready to compete with some of the elite talent, in my opinion. And the guy is so young. He's in his early 20s still. He's gonna be one of the Canadian prospects that we talk about for a very long time. You can quote me on that. I've been on the Antoine Chaput hype train since the beginning, since before he made his pro debut. So I'll be the first guy to ride that train all the way until the UFC, and some very amazing success for that young kid, because I know that's what's gonna happen because he's so good. He's our rookie of the year for 2023, Antoine Chaput. That concludes. Leave us a like, a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of these lists, and yep, that's it. See you guys next time.